back live again. Hope y'all had a great weekend. I know I did. Um, Beautiful weather out here in Los Angeles, California. And of course, the crazy, crazy games. Wow. I know y'all seen the Denver one, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Um, all right, let's start with the recaps. Who do we got first? Who do we got first? I'm going to start with the Falcons first. Um, Falcons versus 49ers. All right. So this was an okay game. It was just basically two good teams, really good teams, that are still trying to find their identity. With the 49ers, they have so many people out with injury, and their defense stepped up. They kept the Falcons down to 10 points. Um, Penix threw good through the air, but he still missed some throws, and he was getting a lot of pressure. Um, San Fran's defense is, I mean, like I said, Salah is having their defense do really well, even though they have key injuries. So I expect them to keep doing this. Mac Jones, he had an average day, but he did what he had to do to win the game. Um, this is just another impressive win by the 49ers. And the Falcons showed that they still have some growing to do, but they also have a lot of potential. I look for them to do some more damage later on in the NFC. But I think the most curious thing is how long can the 49ers sustain this? I mean, they tried to rely heavily on McCaffrey, and he did step it up. McCaffrey did really well, receiving and rushing. But it'll be interesting to see, as I always say, what happens later on in the year. I'm still shocked at how good the 49ers are doing. And as I said, this is Mac Jones' team, even though he had kind of had an average day today. He threw an interception, whatever. But um, the key was the 174 on the ground, and just 49ers defense holding the Falcons to only 10 points. I mean, simple as that. So we'll see what happens next week. Even if they even have let's see if they got a game next week, or did they have a bye? Let me see. Um, oh yeah, they got Houston on Sunday, so that should be an easy win for the 49ers too. But you never know which Houston is going to show up. So anyway, it'll be good to see in the Falcons. They got Miami. So with everything going on with Miami, man, we'll see. We'll see. So okay, cool. All right, the Eagles and the Vikings. Man, um, this was a really good game. Uh, there's so much uncertainty surrounding the Eagles, but they still find a way to win. The kicker here is that Saquon Barkley is not really carrying the team like he did last year. And this is not Philadelphia's identity. This is not their identity. They're not a passing team, but Jalen Hurts showed he can make the plays. Let me pull up the numbers. He Hurts threw for 326 passing yards, which is the first time in over 22 games. Devontae Smith had 181 yards with a touchdown, and AJ Brown had 121 yards with two touchdowns. They literally won through the air. Do I see that being sustainable? No. Eventually, Barkley's going to have to break through. They have everybody has contained Barkley well this year. Um, I mean, their offensive line has been banged up, so that's why Barkley hasn't been doing good. But they do need a running game. That's what's going to save them. But at the end of the day, they got two all world receivers. Hurts is not a bad quarterback, so he's making the plays that needs to be made. But I still don't think he can do that consistently. He has a great deep ball, but I don't think he can beat you to the air consistently. But he can win. He is a winner. He will do whatever has to do to win. But I think for them to really have the long-term success, they need to rely on Barkley and their defense. That's what's going to get them in the Super Bowl again this year. And Barkley really needs to wake up. We need to see when that's going to happen because I mean, this is unusual, but they figured it out and they stopped the Vikings, of course. So um, even with Carson Wentz at the helm, which Carson Wentz he didn't do too bad, 298 yards. Let me see his stats actually. Um, Carson Wentz. Let's see what Carson Wentz did. Let me see. Um, a few moments later. Yeah, 313 passing yards. But he did throw two picks. So, um, but what was crazy was the Eagles figured out a way to get it done, even if it was uncharacteristically of them. And Hurts threw for three touchdown passes. But Saquon Barkley not getting it going has been a recurring theme this year, and it's kind of surprising. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't think they can continuously win through the air like they did today. So hopefully Barkley gets his ground game going. All right. Okay. Who do we got next? We got the Saints and the Bears. I thought this would be Spencer Rattler's coming out party, but he did okay. He threw for let me see. He threw for. I need to have my stats faster. I wrote it all down too. Um, he did throw three interceptions, I believe. Um, yes, he threw three interceptions, and he did throw three touchdowns, 233 yards. Caleb Williams didn't do too well, but they relied heavily on the running game. Caleb Williams only threw for like 170 yards with one touchdown. Let's look at the stats here. Uh, 14-26 to Bears, 23 first downs by Chicago to New Orleans 16, 209 passing yards, 164 for the Bears, 44 rushing yards for the Saints, and 222 for the Bears. That was just too. I mean, they dominated on the ground um, because Caleb Williams did not play well at all, and what that shows is that they can still find a way to win. They could still find um, ways to get the job done, just like they did against Washington last week, and just like they did now against the Saints. Even though the Saints, I don't think, is a formidable opponent, um, they still got it done. So surprise, surprise, the Bears are 4-2, creeping up in their division. Um, it'll be interesting to see how far it goes. Uh, they did have a long return for a touchdown. Um, DeAndre Smith, he rushed for 124 yards and a touchdown, and Kyle Monan guy added 83 yards. So, this is they had a good balanced rushing attack when Caleb Williams didn't do well. So that's what you want to see. Yeah, you got your quarterback who's the franchise player, but you need people to step up when he's not doing too hot. And the Bears show that they can do that, and now they're 4-2. It'll be interesting to see how far they go. So, um, all right, who do we got next? Who do we got next? The Panthers versus the Jets. Oh man, I think Aaron Glenn is just another. I mean, they probably won't. They probably won't fire him in the middle of the season because they don't want to do that 2 years in a row after letting go of Salah last year. But he's the first coach to lose his first 7 games. Um, Justin Fields got benched. Um, I mean, he only threw for 46 yards before he got benched, and even last week he threw for 45 yards. I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, this is just all bad. This is all bad. Let's look at the numbers. 13-6, ugly game. 17 first downs for the Panthers, 12. 302 passing yards versus 220. 125 rushing yards versus 81. Two turnovers. I mean, this is the Jets just perform horribly. They're 0-7. Even the Titans have a better record than them. Um, and it's just unfortunate. I thought Field would kind of have some sort of resurrection after the Pittsburgh season where he did okay, and they benched him for Russell, but they didn't bench him because his play was bad. They just thought Russell would give him a better shot. but now he is just playing horrendous with the Jets. And then you got to ask yourself, um, oh, there's a cat in the background. Don't be barking at the cat, Blue. You got to ask yourself, how good does the coaching have to be for Fields to perform? Because I don't think Fields is a top tier quarterback, but I think he's a solid quarterback. But he is just playing horrendous right now. And he didn't play this bad in Pittsburgh last year, so you got to put some of that on the organization of the Jets. So oh man, this is looking ugly. Between this and the Dolphins, these are like in the Titans. This is just not good at all. And we'll get to the Titans soon. But man, oh man, poor Jets, man, poor Jets. And shout out to the Panthers, they did good. And guess what? What's their record now? They're 4-3. The Panthers are 4-3. I mean, this is really good for them. Remember last year when they benched their first overall draft pick and had all these issues, fired their coach and everything, and now they're kind of just scraping through. I mean, this facing the Jets definitely helped them, but wow, they're definitely. Let's see how far they go with this one. I don't think that far, but hey, man, at least they're not the bottom of the barrel anymore. Cool, cool. So, all right. So now who do we got? Let's see. All right. And speaking of the Titans, we have the Patriots versus the Titans. And I mentioned this last week. The Patriots is just an overall well-rounded team. This was just a quick warm-up, just as I suspected. Um, easy call. You know, Drake May, 21 for 23, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Um, Stevenson, 18 for 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Defensive touchdown by Chason off of Cam Ward. First of all right, so before I read these stats, I'm reading the individual player stats. Cam Ward did that same play again, where he just completely loses the ball before he throws it. It's like, what? He goes up to throw it and just completely loses the ball. And that's how Levon was able to get that defensive touchdown. This is the second time in a row he's done that. Like, yes, you can blame the organization. Yes, Tennessee's in a bad spot. But Cam Ward, you are the first overall draft pick. Why are you doing these type of bloopers? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. So it's not looking too good for him. Not looking too good for him at all. So let's bring this back up. Um, you got 31-13, easy work, 22 first downs to the Titans 16, 212 passing yards to 216, 175 rushing yards, 39 rushing yards for the Titans, and 2 turnovers. So bad run game, you know, horrible turnovers, and honestly, the Pats are just a well-rounded team. They're going to be a force in the AFC. They are just a well-rounded team. May with Stefan and the run game, everything is just going in sync right now, and it's awesome. It's great to see how they bounce back. So we'll see what happens later on, but so far so good. Oh boy, I'm just talking about all the bad teams in a row. Now we got the Dolphins versus the Browns. Oh boy. So where do I start? I mean, this is getting redundant at this point. Why is McDaniels still there? We're already in week 7. Why is he still there? They played horribly. They played terrible. And the Browns offense didn't do that well through the air either. But I mean, Judkins scored 3 touchdowns through the ground. But Tua threw 3 interceptions for the second straight week. That whole swag that they got when McDaniels first came in, it's over. It is done. McDaniels is a lame duck right now. They can't fire Tua because they gave him $200 million. McDaniels is done. They need to start fresh and clean house, especially with Tyreek Hill hurt. They still got Waddle. They still have a couple bright spots, but they are playing ridiculously bad right now. So um, now let's get to the numbers. All right. You got 6 to 31, 12 first downs to 15 for the Browns. I mean, the Browns' offense was horrible except for the rushing game. 120 passing yards to 102, 99 rush yards to 104 for the Browns. Um, but they got 31 points. The Browns scored 21 points off of turnovers and then 3 touchdowns by Judkins. So, I mean, this is crazy. And up, the Browns are 2-5, 1-6. I mean, this is just they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. Um, they just I don't know. This is bad. This is bad. But I know for sure McDaniels needs to go. McDaniels needs to go. All right. Oh, and here's the team you always see me talking good about. Chiefs versus the Raiders. Easy call, easy money. Um, this is what we expected to happen. Rashee Rice came back, got 2 touchdowns in his return. Mahomes, MVP caliber, 286 yards with 3 touchdowns. Um, Crosby did leave with the knee injury in the second quarter. But look at these stats 31 to nothing, Chiefs. 30 first downs to the Raiders, 3. 70 passing yards to 282 passing yards for the Chiefs. This is so lopsided. How does a professional football team have only 3 first downs? I think I might have to double check that. That can't be real. That cannot be real. I was flipping back and forth between these games. Did he really only get? I mean, look, this is another one where Carroll. Let's see. I'm just double checking because this is crazy. Yeah, only 3 first downs. That's not a typo. That's wild. That is wild. And of course, I didn't expect them to beat the Chiefs. I didn't expect them to beat the Chiefs. But now, when you have Max Crosby, your best player, gone, I don't know how long he's going to be out though. They didn't say. Um, you have Geno Smith playing horrendous as usual. You have Patrick Mahomes playing lights out. I mean, but regardless of the Chiefs, that's what we expect from the Chiefs. We didn't expect the Raiders to be this bad. And Pete Carroll, man, he might be another lame duck. I mean, how are they continuous? When you got the Vikings, I'm sorry, when you got the Raiders and you got the Dolphins and you got the Titans, they already fired Callahan. The Titans already fired Callahan. I mean, these teams are just playing bad. They are playing bad. And the coaches are just, what is the Raiders going to do? Give Pete Carroll a couple of years? I wouldn't after a season like this. It sucks because I like Carroll, but he hasn't been able to recreate that Seattle magic. And until he benches Smith and finds a new quarterback, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. Um, and the Raiders defense, they got to step it up too. But it was against the Chiefs. It was against the Chiefs. So if the Raiders defense can play better throughout the year, then that gives Carroll something to work with. But they're 2-5 now. Kansas City's 4-3. Easy money. That was easy work. That was just a Rashee Rice return, and they just sharpened their iron. And now they literally have everything in place. Everything in place. So I know they're gonna make a. I know they're gonna make a Super Bowl run. I mean, as good as the AFC is, the Chiefs are the team to beat. So that would be a nice little AFC Championship game, Chiefs versus the Colts. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. Now we got the Rams versus the Jags. Once again, the most complete team in the NFC, in my opinion, as I've always said, because they have Matthew Stafford at quarterback, who threw 5 touchdown passes. Um, so let's look at the score: 35-7, 26 first downs to 21 by the Jags. 182 passing yards, 264. 89 rushing yards, 94. It looks pretty even, except for the fact that Stafford threw 5 touchdown passes. He leads the league now with 17. So, um, I mean, and I think there was a stat that someone said that the Rams 5-2 are having their best start since their Super Bowl year. Um, and all of Stafford's and I'm sorry, Stafford's 3 touchdowns were to Devontae Adams. People forget about him. He's been kind of under the radar since he left the Raiders. Radar Raiders. He's been kind of under the radar, but you're forgetting he is a All Pro, big time receiver that was at at one point considered one of the best in the game. He hasn't lost much. He's bounced around a lot, but he just hasn't had a good quarterback. With Puka Nua out, you'll see him and Stafford really click. Um, and then when Puka comes back, I mean, this is they're going to be a serious offense with Stafford, Adams, and Puka. And also, they're just a well balanced team, like I said. So 5-2, they're creeping up there, and they keep going over the radar. Everybody wants to talk about the Eagles, the Bucks, the Lions. Y'all better not forget about the Rams. And I'm not saying that because I live in LA. I'm saying y'all better not forget about the Rams. So we'll see about that. And on another note, Travis Hunter got his first touchdown through the air receiving. I still think he's better as a DB, but hey, he did what he had to do. And the Jags just, they gave up 7 sacks. So it's just, they got a little hiccup. They could still be a playoff team, but you just don't know which Jags is going to show up because I thought they would have performed a little better. I thought they would have put up a better fight, this game, but Stafford just pretty much shredded them, and they didn't find the answers to that. So, um, and Trevor Lawrence getting hit way too many times. It's just back to square one for the Jags. So, all right, and then here we go. Speaking of LA, the Chargers versus the Colts. Daniel MVP Jones doing what he does. Um, let's go through the numbers first. You got 38 to 24. 24 first downs for the Colts, 25 for the Chargers, 281 passing yards for the Chargers, 391, 120 rushing yards, but the Chargers only 54. And they had 2 turnovers by none other than Mr. Herbert. So, I get it, right? They're missing part of their offensive line. You know what I mean? You know, Joe Alt, Trey Pickens, Najee Harris out for the season. They're missing some people, right? They're missing some people. But Herbert is looking like an interception machine. He threw 2 costly picks in the first half, even though he had 400 plus yards passing. We don't know what to make of this Chargers team. I thought they were the most complete at the beginning of the year, but it doesn't look like that now. They're kind of slowly unraveling, and Harbaugh needs to figure it out, and which he will. He's a fine coach, but I mean, Jonathan Taylor. The Colts defense, which was supposed to be their strong suit, gave up. They first of all, Jonathan Taylor's a beast. Okay, so you could let it go with maybe a touchdown and 150 yards rushing or something, but 3 touchdowns and then Daniel Jones 2 through the air. I mean, they annihilated the Chargers. And it's the same 2 people that you expect to do it, and they still couldn't find an answer. So I don't know. The Colts are looking sharp, and the Chargers are sliding down, sliding down. Like I said earlier, it'd be nice to see the Colts versus the Chiefs. That would be a heck of a game because both teams are loaded with talent. So um, that was a sad win for the loss for the Chargers, but they'll figure it out. And speaking of sad, here we go. We got our butts kicked. Ain't no way around it. We got whooped. I mean, first of all, Lattimore was getting exposed. I mean, he's getting beat deep. He was getting penalties. I mean, they were just Pickens was just all over him. You know, um, so we couldn't stop that. Right? We couldn't get the run game going. Two receivers down. You know, we didn't have Debo or McLaurin. And Jaden Daniels got hurt again. Um, just a bad game, and Dallas capitalized. I mean, Dak Prescott is having an MVP year. Um, I call him Romo 2.0 because he always does good in the regular season, and then he tanks when you need it. The Cowboys tank when you need it. Not that they're doing that great. They're 3-3. I mean, they're okay, but they definitely are doing a lot better than what people expected. Um, Now with CD Lamb back, he 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 did great. I mean, there were just so many things happening in that game. I feel like the refs were a little hard on the Commanders, but I'm not going to blame the refs. But they had one where they were kind of making a comeback before the second before the half was over, and it was an easy pass interference call that they just let go. They didn't even do it, I guess, because they already called the offsides. 1:30 left in the half, right in front of the refs, and they didn't call a pass interference. I don't like that play, but they did call offsides, so we had some opportunities, but we just didn't do good, and Dallas capitalized. Everybody, everybody got some loving, everybody got some shine. The receivers did good for Dallas. You know, the game just got out of hand. The game just got out of hand. Um, I mean, Prescott threw for 3 touchdowns, 264 yards. You know, Javonte Williams got 100 on the ground. And the crazy part of this game was that Dallas was stopping the run. Since when does Dallas have a run defense? Why did they all of a sudden decide to show up against our Commanders? Now they want to show up and act like they're a good defense. That's why Jerry Jones let go of Micah Parsons. Because he said, I'm not giving 100+ million to a linebacker when we can't even stop the run. And they stopped the run against the team, the last team I wanted to see him do it. So, a lot going on. That game was depressing to watch. I was locked in watching that game, and just too many plays that I didn't agree with. And Daniels got hurt. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's just a strain. He's got to get some more leg power though, man. Them skinny little legs, man. He gotta figure it out. Bulk up a little bit. Do some squats or something. What do you call those reversible squats? Get his legs up, man. But he's running. He was running and he was making plays through the legs. He obviously made some good passes, but just we just got manhandled. We got to take the loss. And I just hope he's healthy. I mean, the Mariota literally came in and his first play in, he threw a pick six. Why is he trying to play hero ball? He should have just threw it away or took the sack. He trying to play hero ball, just coming in like, what are you doing? You were sitting out the whole game. You want to come in and act like you're Patrick Mahomes? And Mariota's a good backup. I'm not dissing Mariota, but that was a dumb play. But I mean, the game was already out of reach. Maybe he felt the desperation already. I don't know, but whatever. But let's talk about the game of the week. In my opinion, the best game, the Broncos versus the Giants. I have a small YouTube channel, and my biggest video was me analyzing the Giants, saying I'm happy to see them play well, but they are a young team, and I don't know if this is sustainable. And everybody was like, "Oh, they're a young team; they'll be fine." And of course, everyone's all big on they're just being fans. I get it. And honestly, after seeing how they played the whole game, I was shocked that they were like manhandling the Broncos. I mean, they were manhandling the Broncos, and I just was like, you know, Jackson Dart. I mean, and Cam Scatterbull. I mean, they were both just having a good old time. He threw 3 touchdowns through the air. Jackson Dart did. Scatterbull running 16 for 60. You know, um, he also added 34 yards reception and a touchdown. They were having fun. They're doing good. You know, they just collapsed in the fourth quarter, and I don't think that that's the superstar's fault. Darts or Scatterbull or anybody. You know, the defense just had a meltdown, and that's a ode to them being a young defense, but also that Knicks and Peyton combo is something special. It is something special. I mean, to score 33 points in the fourth quarter, to score 33 points in the fourth quarter, and top it off with a 39-yard field goal by Lutz. I mean, Bronco, this is the adversity they face. They should have destroyed a team that was a young team that they thought they could have won, and instead of throwing in a towel after getting whooped for 3 quarters, they come back and score 33 in the fourth quarter. That game was incredible. I mean, whew, I don't know about y'all, man, but football season is back. I mean, that was a wonderful game, but still not down on the Giants. They got the sky's the limit for them. But right now, the Broncos they took it this game, and they're going to be a force to reckon with in the AFC for sure. Um, this was an interesting game. Packers versus the Cardinals. I mean, it was closer. It was closer than we thought. Like I had I had the Packers as the team to beat this year, and they just I mean their record they still got a great record. 4-1 with the tie. I just feel like I thought this was going to be an easy win. I know it's any given Sunday, but I mean, first of all, Brisket is the real deal. He's a good quarterback, a journeyman. He's definitely someone you can count on. Before I get in that, let me go on the stats. 27-23, 19 first down for the Packers, 23 for the Cardinals, 168 passing yards for Green Bay, 236 for the Cardinals, 94 rushing yards, 94 for the Cardinals. And the Cardinals had one turnover. Um, Brisket performed pretty well. I mean, he's just a veteran. That's why. And I don't know. I just thought the Packers would win this one easily. I mean, they're just not convincing me this year. I was very convinced when they first came out, but they're just not really being that convincing. But they're getting it done. I think the Rams might dethrone them as the top seed in the NFC, the top team right now, or possibly Tampa Bay. But let's see how they perform against Detroit. That's going to be a nail biter tomorrow. I'm definitely going to give you the recap on that. But I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and Green Bay has to really make a statement. Otherwise, they're just gonna kind of skate through the league, have win 13 games, and then just bow out in the playoffs. They gotta really dominate. And Michael Parsons, I saw him complaining a lot about. I'm like, dude, just play, man. You got what you wanted. You're out of Dallas. You know, just stop whining. I mean, hey, they're winning, but I mean, 179 yards passing, one touchdown for Jordan Love. I mean, that wasn't that great. Um, Even their rushing wasn't that great. I mean, but they won. Um, they fought off a good Jacoby Brisket, who's like I said, a great I mean, he's a good quarterback. Um, but with these backups, they do well for so long, and then eventually they unravel, and you know that they can't be your franchise quarterback. But what does Arizona do? Do they just ride out the rest of the season with Brisket? Because I don't see Kyler Murray as the franchise quarterback, and that's the problem. You got Kyler Murray, you got Tua Tagovailoa, you got these guys that got the bag. And it's clear as day that they are not the franchise quarterback. They are not going to take you to the promised land. So what do you do? What do you do? You just put in a backup or what? So um, the Cardinals got to figure it out. But Kyler Murray is not that dude. So he has his moments where he makes spectacular plays, but he's not that guy. And I don't want to talk bad about him while he's injured, but he wasn't doing that great when he was healthy. So, and we already know about Tua. So they benched him, and I mean they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. And the Cardinals are 2-5 now. So who knows what they're gonna do? Maybe they should just ride it out with Brisket. But at the end of the day, they gotta figure it out down there or out there in Arizona. So, all right, I think that's all the games. Thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday night. It's late over here. Oh, so it's definitely, what time is it? Oh yeah, it's probably like almost 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Um, oh, it is 1 o'clock, 1:30. Anyway, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow for tomorrow's recaps. Yeah, peace.